today I'm going to ask you if you like going on holidays with Mum and Dad. Do you? Do you look forward to that? Yes, and who's going to go to big camp with their Mum and Dad? Wow. What's good about big camp?
Going to the big banana.
Yes, that's right. Well, I was thinking, what about all the friends at camp? You looking forward to catching up with your friends and hearing some wonderful stories about Jesus and learning about the things that he's preparing for us? All right, well, today I'm going to see if I can do two things, tell you a story and work this for the first time. So on the screen, I'll show you some pictures, but I'm going to talk about some of the things that the children that live in Brewarrina look forward to. You know, over the years, Paul, my husband Paul, has been visiting the little outback town of Brewarrina. What can you see in that picture? Can you see green grass up on there on the screen? No, it's pretty dry, isn't it? Because Brewarrina can be a very hot and dry place. And it's a little town that's 12 hours away from us, from the coast. That's a long way away, isn't it? And whenever Paul flew out there in the plane, he took a big group of helpers. They were people from the coast who wanted to go and meet and get to know the outback children from Brewarrina. And they would have such a good time with them. They would sing with them, they would do crafts, they'd tell them wonderful stories about Jesus. And of course, they would eat lots of delicious food. And these are some of the things that they did. Have a look at how many children would come along and what a wonderful time they would have. There's lots of yummy food there on the table and lots of helpers. Everybody wanted to help to prepare the food. And there's Pastor Danny telling the children a wonderful Bible story. Well, these people that I want to show you now are very special people. They were the elders of the Brewarrina community. And right there on the end in the stripy top is Uncle Les, and next to him is his wife, Auntie Joyce. And in the middle, there's a special man. I'll tell you about him in a moment. But Uncle Les and Auntie Joyce were wanting the best that they could give to the children of Brewarrina. They wanted them to go to school and to learn their lessons. But they also wanted them to learn about Jesus because they knew that their children would have a good life if they had all that special knowledge. But there was a problem in Brewarrina. The children didn't want to go to school. They wanted to stay at home and play games. And that was a problem. And Uncle Les and Auntie Joyce were worrying about it and wondering how could they get those children to school. And you know that while they were praying, God sent a very special man to them, and that's the man who's sitting there in the middle. He's called Jack Cannons, and he had come all the way from Sydney. He belonged to the South Narrabeen Surf Life Saving Club. Sorry, that's a mouthful for me to remember. And he came along and he listened and talked about their problem with the children. And he came up with a very wonderful idea. He said, let's motivate the children. Let's give them something to look forward to. And so they called the children together and they told them about a new plan. They were going to reward the children who would come to school every day, unless they were sick, of course, every day, and if they worked hard throughout the year, they would reward them with a beach camp. They would take them in a big bus all the way over from Brewarrina to the coast. The coast is where we live, right near the ocean. And they would reward them for their hard work and their efforts. And do you know, when the children heard that, what do you think? How did they react? They loved the idea. They thought it was great, and they really worked hard. They went to school and they worked hard, and then at the end of the year, they came to the beach right there in the Sydney beaches at Narrabeen. And other charities helped too, provide food and shelter for the children to stay while they were learning safety skills in water, boarding and surfboarding. They had a most wonderful time there. But you know, there was something else that Uncle Les and Auntie Joyce wanted to share with their children. They wanted them to know about Jesus and the plan that Jesus had for them. Jesus had an even bigger trip planned for them. And they had this special Bible. I brought the Bible with these pictures in it. Do you know what that picture is? What's happening in that picture, Zach? Jarrah, do you know what's happening in that picture? It's a picture of Jesus' second coming, isn't it? And you know, while the trip to the beach was a great reward, do you know that Jesus has an even greater reward? Where's this trip? This coming of Jesus is going to take the people who love him and who are faithful to him on a trip to heaven, right through space. You know, all the stars we see at night and all the planets we see, and even beyond to other galaxies. And the people in Brewarrina, they have a very special Bible. It has pictures in it. And I bought myself a copy this week. And look, there is that picture right in the Bible. And Uncle Les used to call the children around him and say, look, we know you love that beach trip, but God has an even bigger trip planned for you. And those children come along to church and they learn about God and they read his word and listen to the stories, just like you do. And they want to be there when Jesus comes to take them on a trip to heaven through space. With Mummy and Daddy, of course, and Auntie and Uncle and Grandma and Grandpa. Jesus wants everyone to be there. All right. Thank you for listening, children. You may go back.